Alright guys, so this is the first of a weekly update, so a little insight into my own training for the week in preparation for the events that I've got coming up for the year, and it's also going to be a chance just to kind of follow along what's going on with the Intrepid Athlete in terms of what events we've got coming up, workshops, and again just general stuff that might be useful to all you endurance athletes out there. Feel free to obviously share it around, especially with those who are interested in running, and especially those who are sort of quite prone to injuries within the endurance realm, because that's kind of the main specialism that I focus on. So even though I'm probably going to have about 4 people watching this and probably know them all, I'll still go through a little introduction about myself and about what Intrepid Athlete does. And then move on to some of the meatier topics that I want to cover today. So obviously my name's Lee. I've been running since I was 7 or 8. Got into fun runs through my dad, and then kept the running going. Joined the military, so obviously again running and endurance was quite a big focus for that, and I excelled quite well, achieving a 1.5 mile time of just under 8 minutes. And represented my unit in cross country, triathlon and 3000 metre steeplechase. From there moved to Dubai and got into CrossFit and general strength and conditioning, so that's where I kind of learned that actually probably is quite useful to train your legs for running, as I had avoided doing any sort of direct leg work up until I was a good, 25, 26. So CrossFit kind of helped me realise that squatting, deadlifting and all that stuff is actually going to improve my run performance, which it did, as well as help minimise the risk of injury, especially to, like I said, the lower body. Then from there, moved over to the UK, had my own facility for quite a while, and then got into my sort of first ultra, which was Marathon des Sables in 2015. And then from there progressed on to many other races, including the Spine Challenger, which I did last year, and being one of them dickheads who wears race t-shirts when they're coming to spectate or help out, just so in case no one knows that they're a runner. So did the Spine Challenger last year, Lakeside Day 50 miler last year, and a few other races and stuff. And along the way, like I said, I've learn the importance of strength training, the importance of prehab work, and so far at the age of 33 I've not had a single injury, and that includes lifting heavy weights, running to quite a decent level, competing at the CrossFit Games regionals in South Korea. So I have put my body through quite a lot of different types of training, and like I said, because of my attention to mobility work, injury prevention work and strength work, I firmly believe that is the reason why I haven't got any issues. So that's a little bit about myself in terms of the Intrepid Athlete. So again, my goal there is to share that knowledge, share my experience from lots of different racing distances and disciplines, and obviously strength training for quite some time now, and obviously my qualifications that I've earned over the years, so strength and conditioning qualifications that I've gained, run coach qualifications and functional movement screen qualifications. So my goal is with the Intrepid Athlete is to help endurance athletes become injury-free, pain-free, as well as improving their performance, or helping them achieve new goals such as increasing the distance that they want to be able to reach, and obviously be able to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. So Intrepid Athlete is kind of all-encompassing. We do online coaching, personal training, movement screening. I'm quite excited to be setting up a run club soon as well, out of District L in Penrith. So if you're near Penrith in Lakes, then obviously look out for updates on the run club. So we'll be doing a couple of actual coach running sessions, not just some run leader flailing about everywhere telling everyone they're doing a good job, as well as doing once per week or twice per week potentially strength and conditioning specifically for runners, so working on drills, injury prevention work, strength work, and obviously improving things like balance coordination, which will obviously help with the performance as well. So that's kind of a quick insight into who I am and what I do and what the Intrepid Athlete's all about. This year I've got supposed to be a quiet year. You can see Captain America's ass for a bit. It's supposed to be a quiet year. I was supposed to be doing maybe one big event for the year, and as is always the way, I've been suckered into doing quite a few big events this year. So I've got Everest Marathon in May, obviously in Nepal. So that's a marathon from base camp down to Namche Bazaar, followed closely by my attempt at the Bob Graham round in June, which is obviously my main training focus for the next sort of 5-6 months. Not long after that, I think it's a week, I'm then doing a 3.8k swim, the big epic swim in Derwent Water, as a kind of time trial ready for my Ironman. And then from there, I've got a Brecker swim run in Coniston, potentially the Frog Graham, and then in September we'll be doing a brutal Ironman in Wales. My first Ironman distance triathlon. I've never done a half Iron either, so I've kind of just gone balls in really and gone to the deep end. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes, especially over the next 6 months. My main focus is going to be running, so we'll see how that pans out when I've done about 2 months prep on the bike before, after not really doing anything other than Olympic distance cycling before, and that was 10 years ago. But hey, that's what the Intrepid Athlete's about. So quite a full calendar for the year, but that gives you focus when it comes to training, and obviously a bit of motivation as well to push when you really can't be arsed, like yesterday morning. So people have been asking about how I'm preparing for my Bob Graham attempts. So for those who don't know what that is, it's a 60 odd mile run, covering over 40 of the highest peaks in the Lake District, and you've got to be able to complete that in under 24 hours, which is what I want to achieve. So I think there's about 28,000 feet of elevation gain, so it's a lot of up and down, quite technical terrain in some elements as well. So in terms of my training, the main focus is obviously mileage, as should always be the way with long distance running, but obviously making sure that the increase in mileage is gradual. I'm not doing too much too quick, allowing the body to adapt as I go along. So basically I've calculated my total training hours over the next 6 months, and then split that up into weekly hours, and then obviously divvied certain percentages of those hours between long runs and weekly runs. Most of it at zone 1, zone 2 pace, so really easy conversational stuff, nothing sort of out there in terms of the intensity or the difficulty of the running, and obviously just getting out on the terrain that I'm going to be covering on the Bob Graham, so having that little bit of specificity to it, so the body adapts to big climbs, technical descents, uneven rocky terrain, boggy terrain, things like that. And as I said before, the big thing that's kind of supplementing is my strength work. So I'll be in the gym 4 times a week at least for the next couple of months, before I go away to Kilimanjaro, and then come back. And that'll be my kind of peaking month in April, so building up to sort of 70-80 mile weeks, as well as keeping the strength work going. And then when I get back from Everest Marathon, I'll be doing a taper phase of about 2 or 3 weeks, and obviously minimising the strength work to allow me to recover. So nothing complicated, but prehab, foam rolling, stuff like that will be pretty much a daily occurrence to make sure that I'm looking after my body and sort of maximising the recovery time that I can. If anyone's interested in sort of seeing the rough mileage each week, then please drop us a line and I'll happily send it over to you. I've got nothing to hide with that. So that's kind of the outline for what I'm going to be doing over the next 6 months training wise. My week this week wasn't the best, week 1, as is always the way. So I was sick pretty much the start of the week, so I didn't get in my first 2 runs that I was supposed to get in. But that's life, isn't it? I certainly don't let myself get beaten down if I miss sessions. Sometimes it's not a bad thing, especially if you're running yourself into the ground. So I made up for it. I got a couple of middle distance or 6 to 8 mile runs in, and then did my first long run yesterday, which was just over 12 miles. Fairly low down because the wind was absolutely rats, so I didn't go up high. So that was just over 2 hours of running. Nice comfortable pace, felt good, felt strong. Nice little long slog up towards Lattrig towards the end of the run, and that's about it in terms of the running. Like I said, nothing complicated. Strength work, done a couple of sessions down at District Health Fitness, so again sort of circuit based type strength work, as well as some bodyweight strength work as well. Also ended up doing another session yesterday after my long run, because we had the open day down there, so ended up getting sucked into doing a workout to help make up the numbers. So legs were feeling it quite a lot, considering the workout was box jumps, lunges, squats, burpees, kettlebell swings. So yeah, that was enjoyable. So that kind of brings me on to what I wanted to talk about as the main thing, is strength training and why runners shouldn't be scared of it, and also why runners should make time for it, because that seems to be the common thing that I've learned from dealing with a lot of clients and delivering workshops, is people think that strength training is a detraction from their run training, whereas actually it's a complement to, and sometimes it's actually better sacrificing a run session for a strength session, depending on your needs and obviously your goals, where you are with your range of motion and your general stability of your joints and things like that, which obviously you need to get assessed to understand where you're at with all that sort of stuff, which conveniently we do as well. But yeah, so strength training is massively important for generating power and force. So if you think when you're running, your foot hits the ground, obviously then impacts the ground, sends down a force, which then receives that back through the same muscles and joints. Stronger those muscles are, the more force they're going to generate, which means again the bigger propulsion force you're going to get back. Also, stronger you are, the more elastic energy you can be able to store, especially in places like your calves and your Achilles, which again is going to help with propulsion. The stronger you are, the more stable your joints are going to be, so especially on uneven terrain, you're stabilising muscles, especially things like the glutes and the hips, which obviously are key to making sure we have an efficient running gait. Stronger they are, again, the less likely they are to going to be compensating or causing excess movement, especially things like rotation, which again, if you're rotating excessively, you're massively losing out on energy there as well. So it's, every stride is costing you more than it should. So strength training is massively important for performance. But again, as I said, if you've got stronger muscles, less likely to compensate and other muscles take up the slack, which again means less likely to get muscle strains, muscle cramps, things like that. And as well, obviously, it's less likely then to put that load onto joints and ligaments, which obviously aren't designed to do that, and minimise the instances of pain, such as runner's knee, IT band syndrome, Achilles tendinopathy, stuff like that. So I don't understand why strength training is massively sort of ignored by a lot of endurance athletes. You look at any of the professional endurance athletes or top level endurance athletes, all of them are doing strength training. Mo Farah's squatting on a regular basis, doing Olympic lifts. Kilian Jornet is obviously doing strength training. I've seen a few of his training videos. So if it's good enough for the top athletes, it's most certainly good enough for us average Joes, especially those older athletes out there. As you sort of start hitting mid-30s, 40s, unfortunately your muscles are starting to atrophy, i.e. start wasting away, as it were. Your joints are starting to become less mobile, but strength training, mobility training has been shown to obviously offset that, and obviously keep hold of what you've got for a little bit longer. So strength training, it should be in everyone's training program. And like I said, if you're new to running or you're coming back from an injury, it should be the priority, especially in the off season. So have your A race for the year or a couple of A races for the year. Leading up to that, one of the main focuses should be making sure you're mobile as possible and as strong as possible. So how do we do that? Well, simple. You can start off with basic exercise. You don't necessarily have to be using barbells and stuff to start with. However, those that are using the same weight again and again and again, year in, year out, you're not getting any stronger, you're not getting any fitter. Okay, you're just spinning your wheels and potentially even doing more damage by causing overuse injuries. Yeah. If you want to be stronger, you need to progress either repetitions, less rest between sets, obviously heavier weight, make the movement more complicated. So that could be, changing the where the load is positioned or how far away the load is from the body. So there's lots of ways you can progress strength training without just necessarily chucking more weight on the bars or going with heavier dumbbells, etc. In terms of rep schemes, you shouldn't be going 15, 25 reps and training that old muscular endurance. All right, your muscular endurance training comes from your running. Yeah, that is more specific than just doing 15 to 25 reps on a movement with a super light weight. Yeah, you want to be doing moderate weights for anything between sort of 5 and 10 reps. Obviously, when you're using big movements such as squats, ideally you want to be doing the lower end, so 6 reps is a good way to start with, and obviously having a challenging weight for those 6 reps so that you can't get more than maybe 7 or 8 reps altogether per set. Right, it needs to be challenging to force adaptation and to obviously improve your strength. So yeah, so a couple of ideas there in terms of how to structure your strength training. Movements, as I said, start simple. Alright, there's loads of videos on my YouTube channel. We've also got a good few strength training programs on our website at intrepidathlete.com, which can give you a good starting point as well. And as I said, we do running programs that are personalised to you and your goals. So again, we can help you get out of pain, we can help you get stronger, help you run more efficiently, or just train you generally for a race that you've got coming up of any distance. So yeah, if you're not doing strength training, do it now. So, I think pretty much covers the first episode. Yeah. Hopefully all those out there doing the spine or the spine challenger, weather doesn't seem too bad, so I think you've got it quite easy this year. Joke. But yeah, seriously, if anyone feels that they could do with some help and guidance when it comes to training for endurance, training for runs, please do get in touch, and obviously we'll endeavour to do our best to help you guys out. Have a look at the blog, lots of information on there. Posted some good articles recently about best mobility exercises for upper and lower body, how to rehab IT band syndrome. So yeah, so have a look at the blog, share the video around, and as I said, keep an eye out for more events that we've got coming up. We've got an injury prevention workshop in February the 9th, which is at District L in Penrith. So it's a 6-hour workshop, so going through assessments of range of motion and stability. So we assess every single person on the course, so it gives you a good starting point of where you're at, and some markers to go away with, and some ideas on how to improve and then retest. We go through lots of mobility exercises and strength exercises for running, some drills, and then we talk about things like managing volume and intensity, which are also great for injury prevention as well. Alright, and also just kind of talk about some of the latest research on stuff like compression wear, salt baths, etc, etc. Spoiler, most of it's pretty worthless. So yeah, so that's 9th of February, and obviously we'll be running more in the future. So if you're around the Penrith area in the Lake District, or if you want to just make a jolly up, I guarantee it'll be worth it. Then get yourself up on Sunday the 9th of Feb. It's from 10 till 4. I'm going to be putting out a weekly live Q&A on Facebook or Instagram, I'm not sure yet. If you've got any suggestions, just drop me a line. So yeah, so live Q&A, so you guys can ask me questions about anything, ideally fitness training, but I'm happy to answer any questions. And then also I'll be doing a Instagram stories Q&A as well, so again, just a chance for you guys to ask some questions, and let me know kind of where you're at with your run training, if you need any help or advice. I'll be much more present on social media as well, starting from today. So again, just trying to get as much information out there as I can for you guys, from an actual qualified coach, and not just someone who's a really good runner who thinks he can train everyone like he trains himself. So yeah, I think that'll do for today. Alright, enjoy your weekend, or the rest of it. I'm going to finish off drinking from Captain America.